my pleasure to introduce to you the man of the hour,
Tony.
Hello and welcome back to At the Gates. I am your host, Tony, and with me is...
Airport Jared.
That's right. Today we are at the gates of Delta 1175, Denver to Minneapolis. Sorry, it'd be Denver.
Denver.
You have to wait 5 seconds to say.
Oh yeah, I forgot. My bad.
And, before we get into airport reviews, let's go into airport food reviews. Jared, what did you get and how is it?
I got a McDonald's egg, bacon, and cheese biscuit. It tastes like food, I guess.
Standard McDonald's, or is there anything special?
Nothing special.
Sad.
Yeah, well,
I thought
it's Slim Pickens, so in this terminal.
Slim Pickens is here?
Yep. Exactly, and there's a bird right there.
Yeah, there's a couple birds trapped in the airport. Yep. So if you want to listen to that song by Craig Finn, Birds Trapped in the Airport, I'd recommend doing that at this point. Pause the show and then come back to us after you listen to that right now. And welcome back to Denver.
That was a great segue.
Thank you. So we can see a Southwest plane just landing right now. So congratulations to those people for coming back to Denver or visiting Denver. Should we start with the Denver airport or should we start back at the beginning in Minneapolis?
Start wherever you please.
Since this one is fresh, let's do Denver. So the Denver airport. I didn't notice this until when we came back in, but the airport itself has like peaks and canopies from the outside, and it looks like the Rockies.
Or like a tent.
Yeah, like a tent, but I think that it's kind of mountains.
Sure. I know that it's supposed to represent something, but I don't remember offhand without looking it up, so yeah. But it is very cool.
And that was it the Westin that was attached? There was some hotel. That was pretty cool.
A relatively new hotel.
Although I can't imagine staying at the airport. That'd be a little bit weird.
I mean, if you have a delay or something,
yeah,
it makes sense.
You probably wouldn't do that for just pleasure, for like a vacation, especially because part of the review of this airport, why it won't be super high in my book, is that it's pretty far away from Denver itself. It's located a ways out, especially if there's going to be traffic. It can be at least a half hour away. Any cool things that you liked about it? You wanted to take some pictures of some stuff when we landed.
Well, just the tent-like roof kind of thing. That's it.
So what do you think of the architecture? I think the architecture is pretty cool.
Yep.
What are some of the negatives?
Could just use a facelift.
That's probably true of almost every airport, huh?
Yep, pretty much.
Unless it's brand new.
I don't have much to complain about. I mean, the airport is seemingly, it's pretty functional. It's a good hub kind of thing.
Somewhat easy to navigate. I mean, it's just east and west. You don't have it like Minneapolis where there's Terminal 1 and Terminal 2 that are separated.
Yeah, there's 3 terminals and they're connected by a train.
Yep.
So that's all easy to find. But I guess from a standpoint of comparing Terminal 1 versus Terminal 2, I mean, so long as you know which terminal you're getting in and out of at Minneapolis, I think it works fine. It's just a matter of you just have to know which airline you're flying and which terminal that's in. So, yeah.
And if you're planning a connecting flight, make sure that it's not one to the other, because that just wouldn't be very fun. You can still do it, but
it's super easy though, because especially at like here, you just hop on a train that's connected between the terminals and you're good to go. In Minneapolis, you have to hop on the light rail. It's not an official sort of in-betweener shuttle kind of thing, but
it is free.
You get to ride it for free, so that's a bonus.
And had we known that there was a light rail from here into Denver, we may have just done that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're planning a trip to Denver and you don't have a vehicle, you can take the light rail back into downtown. That would be very helpful to know. So if we saved you any amount of headaches,
It's very convenient.
please pay us. Jared, how's your orange juice?
Tastes like fountain orange juice.
So it's not fresh stuff? It's not like in LA?
It's not fresh squeezed, no.
Dang.
Definitely Minute Maid.
So if you were to give it a Jared grade, the Denver airport, what would it be?
7. I mean, it's nothing over the top, but it's pretty cool.
I'd say that's fair. I'd say C+, maybe B-. I like the architecture. Don't like that it's far away.
Yep. I don't mind that it's far away, though. For some reason, this airport, I mean...
It just doesn't feel like Denver, though, because it's like
True.
flat and green.
Yeah.
Which also, we've been here and it's pretty much been cloudy the entire time, so we really haven't seen much of the Rockies at all.
Unless we were in the air already, so...
Yeah. I guess we'll work backwards. LA? LAX? How'd you feel about that? What were the positives?
I don't know. You go first. I don't remember a whole lot.
The positive for me was on the way in, you get to be right by the ocean. You get to see some cool views.
Yep.
So I think when you're in the air, it's pretty cool. But once you're in it, it's very busy, very kind of chaotic, very standard. It's very
international airport,
yeah.
though, so
It's one of the busiest in the world, so it makes sense. But it's not. It's just there's nothing really stand out about it. It's all function and no frill.
Yeah, it's very functional. Yeah.
Is there much else that we can really say about it?
I don't know. We didn't get to see some of the cooler parts, like the plane driving over the roads and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean, for what it is, I would say maybe it's a C-.
6, sure.
Functional. Would you recommend people go through there?
Sure, why not?
It seemed easy. I mean, especially if you have an early flight. We went in no time, especially for being that busy.
Yeah, we were in and out very quickly.
I think actually today was our busiest check-in.
Yeah, and it took us all of a couple minutes thanks to TSA pre-check. Sign up and recommend.
So if you work for TSA pre-check, again, we can be sponsored. We can be bought out. Jared, what's your asking price?
At least the fee of my pre-check back.
There we go.
Once every 5 years. I'm good with that.
Just give us, we want free shit, just like the sign. Minneapolis Airport. You familiar with it?
I'm very familiar with it.
Have you ever seen it?
Quite a number of times.
How many times have you visited it in the inside?
I'm not like a daily or business kind of traveler, but I've been there a number of times a year. So, yeah.
Positives.
To me, it's seemingly easy to navigate. But then again, it's my home place, so I'm used to walking around there. But then again, I mean, you walk in, you get your ticket, you go up the escalators to security, and then once you get through security, you're back into the terminal, and it's just one long, straight terminal. So, on the one side, on the other, it's more of a horseshoe shape.
There's not much to get lost in at Minneapolis. The only thing that you can really get lost is just not between 1 and 2.
Yeah. Otherwise, connecting light rail is cool. Works really well.
And the fact that it connects to Mall of America, which has a lot of places to stay, you have a lot of hotels right there, really close. That's a positive.
Exactly. Getting in and out for the passenger drop off and pickup is relatively easy. And they're in the midst of continuing renovations. The one terminal was completed a little while ago and looks great. It's obviously it's functional first, but they did a lot of work to make it a little prettier kind of thing, a little more aesthetically pleasing, and I think they did really well. The other terminal is still working through some of those renovations, but I think it's going to be just as nice.
And it's a really good place for politicians to go to the bathroom, right?
Yep. Find love interests.
Yep. Just tap your foot underneath the stall and maybe you'll find love.
Yeah, put your wiener through the hole.
You're talking about hot dogs that they serve, right?
Sure.
So I would pretty much agree with that. The only thing that I think is kind of a downside is parking around there can kind of suck, especially if you're transferring between the two terminals. It's pretty standard. I mean, it's pretty standard parking. It's going to be expensive and stuff, but there's not really, unless you park somewhere close to the light rail, there's not a lot of great ways that you can park somewhat close and get into the airport.
There are a number of... So at
they have the parking rides, though.
At the airport, they have a nice ramp that's covered on the top with solar panels for shade, but also for energy. And if the parking ramp is too expensive, which is understandable, right? They have a park and ride surface lot in a number of different places around the airport, and there's a shuttle that takes you to the terminal, and also that I'm pretty sure those are a little bit cheaper. And then you can also take the light rail, have somebody drop you off, or an Uber, or you can park in one of the ramps that are adjacent to the light rail and ride that up to the terminal.
And also, if people are visiting that are listening to this show, they can just call you, right, and get a ride?
I suppose, yeah.
His number is...
911.
You beat me to it. Dial 9 first.
Yeah,
It's always how you dial 911.
Then 911, yeah. 9 to get out.
So, what's your grade?
I think I'm going to bump my Denver one up just because I like the stuff inside a little bit. I'm going to say that's an 8, and I'm going to say Minneapolis is probably like an 8.5 just because it's gone through some pretty big renovations. And Denver could use just a little bit of facelift. So
I was going to say a B minus, so I think we're in agreement. It goes Minneapolis, Denver,
yeah.
LA.
I like Denver a lot, but and I'd probably like Denver as much, if maybe not just a little bit more than Minneapolis, but it's just the facelift kind of thing. So,
and maybe familiarity. Maybe if you flew in a few more times.
Maybe, yeah. No, we didn't get to go to the B terminal really and
Sure.
experience or stay in the main security area either and see all of the cool stuff in the roof, but I think that would bump your grade up a little bit more if you got to see it from the inside, because it just feels like very light and airy, and it's kind of cool.
Any other airports that come to mind that you think that people should know about, that you have grades for?
Well, we did go to Atlanta. Do you want to grade that?
That we did. I'd say that's about the same as LA for me.
I think it's maybe just a little bit less for me. Not much, maybe like a half point or something.
I can see that, because it did get a little bit more confusing to get out.
Yeah.
A lot of sometimes the shuttles between it can last a little bit longer.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's C minus again for me, probably. Maybe
Sure.
D plus.
Yeah. 6.5 or 7.
So it's actually a little bit higher than LA for you.
Oh, what did I say? LA
I think
was?
6 for
6.
LA.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe it's higher. Yeah, but not much. They're pretty close.
Pretty even.
Yeah.
What other airports have you been to?
Baltimore. That one's okay.
I haven't been there.
I don't think it's anything special. I think it falls somewhere between Denver and LA. Yeah, nothing special. We were only there for like a 2 or 3 hour layover one time, so.
And you went to Cincinnati too, right?
Yeah, and Charleston, South Carolina. I have bad memories of Charleston because I lost my ID and, well, that airport anyway, because I lost my ID and had to do the full body pat down to get on the airline. That was an experience.
How's your sphincter?
It tastes fine. Can you tell it's 7 o'clock in the morning?
Oh yeah, we woke up at 5, and there's been a few rather early mornings, so I think we're a little bit sleep deprived overall in this trip.
But otherwise, Charleston's okay. Again, I don't think it's anything special. I think I want to say they went through a little bit of a renovation recently too, because it felt like it was a little bit newer inside. And Cincinnati, I don't really remember a whole lot from Cincinnati. It was fairly nondescript and
that's more of a smaller one too, right?
Yeah.
Little Rock, I've been to that one. That one's very small, very easy to navigate. Pretty standard. Paris, Charles de Gaulle. That was pretty massive.
Pretty massive one.
Yeah.
Is that bigger than
massive.
LA?
I'm not sure. They do have 2 out there, but
Heathrow's like the biggest, right?
yeah.
And then what's next?
Tokyo?
Tokyo. O'Hare is up there, right?
Yep.
LA.
I flew into O'Hare and Midway, I think. Those are
I've only done Midway. I think Midway's probably a little more confusing than average.
And pretty old, at least I think when I went in.
Yeah.
It needs that one, probably really needs a facelift.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you follow the signs, you'll be fine, because that's all I did the 2 or 3 times that I've flown in there. It's still, to me, relatively easy, but it's probably a little more confusing than average, so yeah.
Dallas, I don't remember that one as much. That's been a while.
Dallas a long time ago. Omaha's okay. But that was a long time ago too. That one might be better now.
Detroit, that's been a while, but I think we went there just after it was like starting to be renovated, and it seemed pretty decent and pretty modern, which was surprising because it's Detroit.
I've been in Auckland.
Oh.
That was like a long time ago in high school, and I was in Brisbane and Sydney. But really, I don't remember a whole lot. I remember they had like plants and stuff in Auckland, and that was kind of cool. It seemed like it was relatively new and cool looking on the inside, but I don't remember a whole lot.
Is it true that Auckland is short for awkward land?
Maybe to some people, not to me.
Did they drive on the wrong side of the road?
I don't remember what they do in Auckland. Well, no, I can't say because we never actually left the airport in Auckland. No, wait, we did.
So the planes didn't leave the wrong side of the road?
No. We did leave the... yeah, I don't remember what side they drive on.
Were you...
I assume it's...
Were you part of Lord of the Rings?
No, this was before that.
Oh. Dang. Well, wouldn't they have been filming maybe then?
I don't know, what year did Lord of the Rings come out? I swear it was before.
Early 2000s, like early mid 2000s. I think it was right after high school and stuff. I don't know. Maybe you could have been an extra.
Not even knowing.
You wouldn't have been a hobbit though. You're too tall for a hobbit.
I bet it did come out before the first one anyway, because I feel like when we drove...
Did you go through the Shire?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like some of the mountain ranges and stuff when we drove around, like we went North and South Island. I feel like I might have known and was like, oh, hey, I should look for the mountain ranges or something, but maybe not.
Did you see Elijah?
No.
Dang. Because it seems like he's pretty cool.
I did see filming of a movie, though, when we were there.
What movie?
You ready for this? The Scooby-Doo movie?
That's probably just as big as Lord of the Rings.
They were, so we had visited off the coast of Australia. There's an island called Moreton Island and a little, a little beach resort called Tangalooma, which was really, really cool, by the way. But you have to take a boat like 2 hours or whatever to get there. And when we were on Tangalooma, they were like mid shooting schedule for that movie. And it's not the animated one, it's a live action with the 3D generated CGI Scooby, with Matthew Lillard as Shaggy.
So you didn't meet Scooby?
No.
What else? Cancun. That was simple. That was actually quite easy, especially I was worried a little bit about the language barrier, but it seemed to be no problem.
I refused to go to Mexico.
Why? Did you build a wall?
Because I know that I would be that idiot that just drinks gallons and gallons of the water, and then I would just be sick for like 3 months afterwards, and I don't want to put myself through that.
It wasn't that bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I totally spaced, and because it was a all-inclusive thing.
Yeah.
And I got, you know me, I get pop.
Yeah.
And I got it. It had ice in it, which was very good because it was very warm. And then later on that day, I had to go use the bathroom a few times.
Was it Coke dispenser level bathroom?
It was very similar.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure it out, and then I realized, the ice is made from local water. But I wasn't that smart, and it happened a couple days in a row. But
And see, I don't want to do that to myself.
But honestly, it really only lasts like whatever day that you drink that, and then it's gone.
I don't want to do that to myself.
Then just buy the bottled water, and it's fine.
Sure. I don't like to. I mean, I get it. Buy the bottled water, but you've seen me. I've been carrying one. I bought a bottle of water at a baseball stadium on our second day.
And he tried to bring it through security.
Well, I forgot that it had water still in it. There wasn't much, but I've been carrying around this water bottle for like 6 days, and I've just been refilling
you should
it
be,
with water
but
fountains.
you should be good with bringing around a bottle of water. Just change out the bottle.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I flew into Buffalo, if I remember correctly.
What was
That's
the one
pretty
to
small.
Connecticut?
Oh, that was Brainerd. That's what they call it in Hartford. That was very, very, very small. They say it's international, but I think they have a flight to Canada.
The airport in Yankton is international, dude, so let's not get too carried away with the language
Yeah.
or the terms here.
Dang. What other ones have we hit? I'm trying to think. Have you done any down to Florida?
Orlando. That one's seemingly easy. Then again, I guess I get into that where it's just like follow the signs and you'll be okay kind of thing.
Makes sense.
Just always know where you are and where you need to be and you'll be fine.
Now take a break, pause this in just a second, and listen to Ace of Base, I Saw the Sun.
Yep.
Pause now. And welcome back. I hope you like this playlist that we're making for you. Jared, do you have any other recommendations for... Oh, how about this?
Leaving on a jet plane.
Benny and the Jets?
Benny and the Jets.
How about a group? And this comes back to your Auckland thing. How about Flight of the Conchords?
That'll work.
They're Kiwis, and it says flight.
Yes, it does.
And it's funny.
It's pretty funny.
I think that concludes airport reviews. Hope that you didn't enjoy this, because we don't plan on doing this again. Good night. Hey, Jimmy, if you're listening to this, quit following me.